Hey everybody, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo, your host here at Espera Que.
Back everybody to Espera Que. Thank you for coming back to another week of listening to me rant. This week has been slower than most, but then again, thank God no one else has been publicly executed by ICE, but ICE has been getting away with it. But let's not stress about them at the moment. Right now, it is February 11th, but the Super Bowl has passed a couple days from us, and we had our friend, well, not friend, I don't even know this guy, but Bad Bunny as the headliner of Super Bowl. So to be truthful, not a big football guy. Like, I only watch it whenever I'm with family, and during the Super Bowl, I kind of missed it out. Is like, I only watch the Super Bowl for the halftime show and ads. And well, the ads were all AI, and the halftime show, I just like watching it on YouTube. So I watched the Bad Bunny performance on YouTube. Real fun. It was really good as an Afro-Latino and seeing a lot of Latino representation in that halftime show. Genuinely having a good time. Like, yeah, I'm a Latino, but sometimes I couldn't understand the Spanish words, but I mean, I'm Dominican, he's Puerto Rican. They use different meanings and stuff like that. Dominicans use different things. The difference is that unlike some of the babies that we're going to talk about, I took the time to sit down, enjoy, ingest, and then looked online to figure out what words I missed to understand the imagery and the story behind his performance, which his story is behind the performance is that love is greater than hate, and why, like, everybody's just chill, cool, and having fun and want to have a good, happy life. That's it. Like, at the end, when he said "God bless America" and then said "God bless to every single country in the American continent," that was good. Like, heck, in the marriage, the whole entire wedding, which apparently that was a real couple that was getting married on stage, which props to them. I wouldn't have done that. That's too many eyes for me, but you do you, hon, and good job. But during the wedding, there was this funny little scene where there was a kid sleeping on 3 chairs. That, if you're a Latino, you know damn well that is life. Like, if you are a child in a Latino household and go to a wedding or any party that lasts longer than lasts past 2 a.m. at night, you're going to get 3 or 4 chairs and whatever you can find that is comfortable inside the event space and just fall asleep in the middle of the party, because that's how it is to be a Latino. And it's just a good showing of the Latino American culture in our country and in our continent, which it was beautiful. It was fun. The music were great. Everybody was dancing. I love to see a lot of hot Latinos dancing around. That I'm a guy. I'm straight. Come on. It's good. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I had a good time. But leading up to this and even after that, we had a bunch of racist people throwing his fit and wanting to have their own little safe place because it's Spanish. Bad Bunny is mean to America, which it's embarrassing. This is genuinely pathetic. Like, Megyn Kelly went on a whole entire like racist rant. Laura Loomer doing her old racist rants on Twitter. Pretty much all the political correspondents are saying that this is un-American and horrible and on the President Trump over there on his little True Social did a little shitting tweet and just saying it's horrible and bad and America is great and excellence and all that shit, which, I mean, if a brown man singing in Spanish and talking about love and acceptance and all of us come together and be good friends and we have a community and all that good, which that was the lyrics that was in Spanish. Like, if you were to trigger to translate, most of the lyrics was talking about like, hey, I want to be your friend. Hey, I want to be a part of you. Hey, I want to be in a community and grow and love and be a part of a community. And y'all are over here saying that's un-American? People loving each other and being a part of a community is un-American? Just say you're racist at this point, because it's super un-American to think that community. I thought it was a community of a bunch of ragtag idiots who became the founding fathers to build this fucking country that everybody has the right to be, I don't know, equal. Yeah, they were slave owners. Yeah, they uphold white supremacy. But even because of that, 250 years of hard fucking labor got us to the point that a lot of people are equal. It isn't equal now. It's shit. but we're able to make our own music and stories. We're able to promote it all over the world. We're able to get into fields and work hard. We're able to get access to research and technology and all that stuff that wasn't available to me unless I get my head cut off by an angry mob of white people because they're jealous that I have the audacity to learn. So this halftime show shows that America has gone through a lot of pain, and we got to a good point. And all these butthurt little bitches are hurt that their identity of America is only white, Christian, and hate. That is all. They, whenever they hear American, they think white, Christian, and hating something they hate. That is what it is. What Bad Bunny showed was America is anyone who was born on this godforsaken continent and just wants to live a happy and fruitful life. Like, American is a nationality. A nationality is just a label you have because you live in a certain country. And even then, it could be in out of the country. American is viewed as anyone who lives in the Americas, the two continents right here. The U.S. is called the United States. How do I know? Went to Dominican Republic, talked to my cousins and family members. They don't like calling America, America. They call it the U.S. and everybody else America, which makes sense. When the United States has, I don't know, put dictatorships in my home country and every other country in this in the whole place, a lot of people don't call themselves called United States citizens, Americans, because of that. But even with that whole thing, the story was about love and community. They despise it. They are disgusted by it because it is an affront to their white supremacy and hatred. And they're out there saying racist shit, being upset, finding every excuse because they can't handle the fact that most people, most common sense people, most people who are just living their life aren't such sticklers when it comes to someone's race. Most people just treat other people like human beings. And how people are in having fun, enjoying the Super Bowl and having fun with the halftime, it pisses them off and it destroys their whole entire fragile identity. So they lash out, say racist shit, and then cry and beg and get themselves a little safe space to feel space, which, you know, I would believe some of y'all are listening to may have noticed that I've been ignoring the elephant in the room, which is the Charlie Kirk TP USA halftime show, which luckily I did not watch it. I'm not going to waste my time watching it. I only seen clips and heard from other people. And it's mostly just like, what, 3 country artists? Well, you say country, they're just the bastardizations of industrialized, like capitalistic country music. Just singing about when I can't fucking fish, and then Kid Rock, which, mind you, they say Bad Bunny was not child friendly because of all the dancing and stuff at his show, while Kid Rock sang about wanting to have underage girls. And this old geriatric dude in, like, I don't know if it was live or whatever. And there are some rumors of lip syncing, but I don't give enough shit to confirm or deny that shit. He was just running around like a dumbass with his name over the American flag and saying Kid Rock, which, I mean, an interesting set piece with multiple different locations. Each dancer changes their clothing to the location to match the location area. Bad Bunny walking around, talking, telling a story, and playing off of the other dancers. Actually doing a good show that made the Super Bowl more like a Bad Bunny concert than a football game, because not even, I mean, the Seahawks won. Go Seahawks. Love them. But, I mean, game, people were there for the halftime. I'm sorry. You have that, and then you have 3 losers who sings about fishing and beer and being upset that other people exist, and Kid fucking pedophile Rock. This is Charlie Kirk's legacy right now. I mean, I know there's the rumors of Erica Kirk over here having her little fun time, laughing and enjoying the fact that she got so much money from his funeral. I seen the video and stuff like that. I don't have the right to tell anyone how to grieve, and I don't want to judge Erica Kirk. I mean, she is a piece of shit. She married Charlie Kirk and is continuing his campaign of racist misinformation. So, yeah, but I don't have the right to say whatever she is, how she should grieve. But if your legacy ends with a shitty halftime show that a bunch of people made up just because they got triggered that a brown guy who speaks Spanish is singing at a football game, you didn't live a good life. I'm not gonna lie. So, halftime show. If you haven't seen it, watch it. The Bad Bunny performance is really good. Truthfully, I like Kendrick's more, but that's just because I like listening to Kendrick music more than Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's music is really good. Take it as a chance. I've been listening to it here and there too. Real fun, and it sticks in your head. But I'm not gonna lie, this whole culture war bullshit that happens every year with every halftime show that doesn't have some white facing guy that a bunch of racist white people would like, or War on Christmas, or whatever other culture war that is going on. Those shits are done now. Culture wars are dying now because right now people are sick and tired of listening to this because all this has shown is how pathetic and worthless these guys are for crying over this shit. Like, I don't want to be mean, but it is pretty pathetic that the idea of a man singing Spanish and having brown skin for 15 minutes in front of you causes you to freak out that much. There is no other words to explain it except racism and pathetic. That's all I can say, which kind of ruins it because this is Bad Bunny's performance was a work of art. We should explore it more. We should understand the story more. It has details about Puerto Rico. Like, I don't know Puerto Rico, but I saw a lot of themes that went to Puerto Rico, and it would be nice to. We should be spending more time studying how he used his experiences in life to craft such a beautiful event. But at last, the best we can say from this is that the culture wars are dying because people are sick and tired of hearing a bunch of pathetic racists throw a pity party because they are forced to accept the fact that other human beings exist. And I would hope from this momentum from this that, one, Bad Bunny keeps on growing and becoming a bigger and bigger star, showing more Latino representation and getting more Latino artists. I hope he helps them out. And two, I hope that we as people can understand that this whole culture war bullshit is a distraction and a pain in the ass because there are way bigger shits and we should stop placating these idiots, let them have their little tantrums, and just let them show how pathetic they are. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to like racist, ignorant, bigoted people, which I'm talking about MAGA, Trump, the conservatives and stuff like that, this isn't generalizing. This isn't a generalization because in 2016, that would be a generalization. There were actually Republicans and conservatives with spines who wouldn't be acting this pathetic. But now it's pretty much mostly only them who are acting this pathetic. So we're going to come up to our first break and then go over more, well, it is way more important because this is our voting rights, but the takeaway from this is enjoy art, enjoy the music you love, enjoy everything you have, and don't let some loser throw a tantrum and ruin your day just because they can't handle the fact that you're not listening to a language that they barely can even say themselves. Like, wah, why is it in Spanish? Wah, why are we the only country who only has one fucking language while everybody else is speaking multiple languages all the time? It's smarter to speak more languages, not have one and be bad at it. And no, not this ghetto AAVE dialect is evil shit like that. No, you don't know how to spell or say fucking words. Those are two completely things. AAVE is actually good English that is so popular and cool that white people steal it and then just slap it on and say that it's theirs. What y'all saying is just racist bullshit and then getting mad and stuttering while getting mad. So, learn a language or just shut the fuck up. See you after the break. Hi, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo. I am back. Espera Que is back in 2026, and yes, my hiatus was sad, and it was caused by a bunch of butthurt losers, but I'm not gonna say that. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm gonna be annoying. I'm gonna say fuck fascism, and I'm gonna stand up against this shit. So please like, subscribe, enjoy my show, and let's fight against the bullshit that we continue to live through.
Hello, everybody. This is your host, Yarince Pascual, Mateo of the show Espera Que. We're going to have a long, crazy year.
As always, thank you all for listening, but most of all, it's Black History Month. It's February. And I really implore you to support the nonprofits and local businesses owned by Black entrepreneurs. Backbone of our economy, small business in America, especially local businesses, you should support. But especially this month, go seek out Black entrepreneurs, small business people, Black professionals, that sort of thing. And just, I don't know, make an extra effort. Instead of clicking on Amazon, just go by that local shop. Check out their websites. And really be involved with your neighbors. If we don't take care of our neighbors can't take care of us. So, important reminder, love you all, and celebrate Black History Month with us here. Hey, let's celebrate Black History Month in February together. We're stronger together. Bye, y'all.
Happy Black History Month, y'all.
Welcome back. So, some heavy stuff. Today, February 11th, the House, I believe the House or Senate, I need to make sure of this, but they're voting for the SAVE Act, which, if you haven't been hearing about the SAVE Act, this is what the big bill that Trump been lumping in for his whole push of nationalizing the elections. So let's go back a little bit. 2020, Trump lost. It is the most, scrutinized, investigated election in U.S. history. 2020, Trump lost. There is more evidence of Trump trying to steal the election and strong arm, Alabama elections, or Georgia. It was Georgia elections, trying to strong arm Georgia elections to give him like 10,000 more votes. Then there is actual evidence of Trump winning the election, and then somehow the Democrats hid it from him. 2020. Because of that, Trump spreads this stupid ass lie that the election was rigged. He didn't lose. Because of that, January 6th happened. Because of Joe Biden's spinelessness and the Democrats and Merrick Garland, because fuck Garland, a little tangent here, fuck Merrick Garland, because of your bitch ass, all of this shit is happening. If he grew a pair and used the might of the United States of America to bring down the hammer on these pedophiles and monsters, we wouldn't be in this shit show. But apparently, either through Joe Biden's spinelessness or Merrick Garland's uselessness, they got away, won the election, and are now in power and making sure they don't get in trouble. So fuck Merrick Garland and Joe Biden, just because they are like, I still voted for him voted for Kamala, but I was going to vote for Biden. But it's just because of their spinelessness and uselessness, we're in this issue. But back to the main point, election fraud, this whole entire thing. The Republican Party takes it up, and apparently a lot of Republicans actually believe this hoax when it has been proven over and over and over and over again. Because of that ignorance and blind allegiance, they are trying to push the SAVE Act. Now, the SAVE Act is supposed to be some election protection act that makes it that you have to show your photo ID, which is a passport that proves that you're a U.S. born citizen, real ID, driver's license, which the real ID has a little yellow star. To get that yellow star, you have to prove like birth. You have to bring passports or any documents to show U.S. citizenship, birth certificate, all that stuff. That is to say, in all elections, you must show in all states of the United States, show your ID, which in a vacuum, that seems okay. But in the United States, that's harmful. Now, you will say, you need to show your ID at a gas station to get drinks. You need to show your ID to go into a club. You need to show that. Why don't you show your ID during voting? Here's the thing. One, election fraud. The biggest issues with election frauds comes from registration of votes, registration of the voters. Someone puts in a fake name, or someone messes with their registration without their permission, or it was like absentee or ballot where someone puts in too many votes or vote while it's wrong. Out of the decades from 2000 to 2020, out of 250 million ballots conducted by the Brennan Institute through all those ballots, only 193 criminal convictions from 250 million ballots put into elections in, I don't know, 2 decades. It is a very small number. Like convictions, like people got arrested for doing illegal shit. That is like 0.000000072% out of all the election votes that was casted since 2000 to 2020. Let's say each conviction had like 100 counts of fraud or whatever that would just be 0.0000772% of all ballots. It is infantile. So election fraud, it happens, but it's so rare that pretty much the system that we have already catches it and deals with it really good. We don't need to add this. But the biggest issue is, and the main reason why this act is being passed, is because it will make it harder for a lot of people to not vote. One thing when a lot of people talk about ID, this ID check at voting registration, they talk about how it affects minorities and stuff like that, which it does. But the biggest issues, biggest people affected will be elderly, minority, mostly like native born or Latino born, students, and low income people. Why it hurts them a lot, and it's a big pool of people, 21 million people who will be affected and will not be able to vote unless they get the right requirements to vote for this. And the thing is, not everybody has an ID. Not everybody has a government issue photo ID. Like, to a lot of people in their day to day, they see IDs, they're good. Yeah, a lot. It seems like that, but there is percentages of our population that does not have a photo ID. Maybe the reasons why, it's too expensive. They don't have the time to go to the DMV, do all that whole entire paperwork and all that stuff. They don't have the required documents to get this stuff because they had a home birth and didn't have the birth certificate to show proof, or they live in a different state and they're in college or a different area, or they're just homeless and they don't have access to store those safe documents. This will hurt people and make it hard for them to vote. And that's an issue because, trust me, yes, there's like 300 million of us here in this country and like 100 to 200 million eligible voters. But those margins, those few hundred people really matter. And when they're passing a law that mostly affects a lot of people who will be against a lot of the horrible immigration crackdowns, all the horrible violations of human rights, all the horrible things they are doing that will cause a lot of damage to Republicans in the midterm that is coming up, which this law will enforce this day one. Like our upcoming midterm of this year of 2026, this will be, if this law passes, all states will force all of their voters to show ID at polling places. If they do that, it will make it really hard for people to vote. And because of that, the people who are already in, who already has the stuff, all that stuff, they can vote. While those who don't, they're shit out of luck. And that's wrong. If we're in a democracy, everybody should be able to vote. Everybody. Like, I know everybody's going to say, like, this is just to protect against illegal immigrants. Again, it is extremely rare about voter fraud. Like, voter fraud is extremely rare in our country. And also, most of the cases of voter frauds, it isn't illegal immigrants. It might be migrants who came here on a visa or something like that, and they just made a mistake. But most of it is just, I don't know, Republicans voting multiple times. Like, there was one story about some guy using his dead mother's information to vote for her. It isn't something. And the whole push to push this narrative to protect us from the evil illegals who are trying to steal our democracy and steal our voice, while the people who are stealing our voices barely happen, and when they do happen, it's for the Republican side. This law is not needed, and it's only going to hinder the voting process even more, which it's bad. That's bad. That's just bad. That's just bad. Because in this whole mess of the SAVE Act, Trump is also trying to just, I don't know, make the nationalize the elections and make the federal government in charge of the elections, which, mind you, this is in the Constitution. The Constitution said the states are in charge of this. Yeah, we have to force the states to do their job after the whole end of slavery and stuff because they like to be racist and shit. And they gutted some of the protections of the Voting Rights Act to force them to not be racist to their constituents. But again, the states do all this stuff, and we, the people, should be able to hold our own state governments accountable so we can have fair and legal elections. That's why students at ATM University in North Carolina was in Raleigh calling out our legislator for pretty much closing polling stations at school campuses, making it harder for students to vote. Why? Because students don't vote Republican. They don't like that. And because they are losing power, they're taking away people's rights to vote or access to vote or ease access. Like, they made it illegal to give people water and food while they're waiting in line to vote. What the fuck? And now we have the SAVE Act with a president who talks about wanting to be a dictatorship, who has multiple fascist, white supremacist fascists in his cabinet who are doing fascist things. Is giddy up to Putin, Kim Jong-un, Netanyahu, fascist leaders who mass murder people to keep their power. Wants to be like them and wants to nationalize our elections so he can put his cronies into it. Like, the reason is for him to put his grubby little hands into our elections so he can put people in place so when things don't go his way, he can tell them to do something so it does go his way. But if we keep it away from him and the midterms happen and we don't have the stupid SAVE Act and all this shit, he's still going to lie. He's still going to lie if things don't go his way during this midterm. So right now, keep an eye on this act. Keep an eye on the SAVE Act. Keep an eye if it passes. Keep an eye to call your representatives. Tell them what's going on. I pray that the people in that room pay attention and do their job, but these Republicans are useless. I'm not going to lie. And it's just disheartening because while doing research about the SAVE Act, I thought, this is pretty fascist. Maybe I'm overreacting. So let me just look how democracy died in other fascist states. I looked up how Hitler destroyed democracy, which, mind you, the Nazi Party, they were unpopular. They only won like 3% of the vote, but they still were able to get more and more help and stuff because of like capitalists giving them money and conservative groups saying like, hey, at least you're not communists, even though there are a bunch of white supremacists, anti-Semitic mass murdering bastards who go around and beating up everybody. Like, the guy tried to break into your Congress and kill y'all and take over, and y'all just let him back in? Idiots. Either way, Nazi Party, they're in charge. They have more power. They have like 43% of the votes. They work with the Conservative Party, 8% of votes, to be able to get everything and get a nice little coalition of power. And then it was an arsonist attack. They believe it was like some Dutch communists. Allegedly, the Nazis has a history of doing false flag of attacks, and they say allegedly the guy started the fire. Whoever started it, we don't know. Hitler used that as his political will, get a lot of people to pass a state of emergency so they can pretty much cut off free speech, cut off protests, pretty much a state of emergency of Germany. And then after that, they passed the Enabling Act, which is fuck the parliament. We in the power, the chancellor and all the executive branch, we do whatever the fuck we want. Now, that's pretty much how democracy died in Germany during Hitler's reign. He pretty much just bullied the conservatives who gave him all this power into giving him even more power when it was too late. And why would I bring it up? Well, history rhymes. You have a bully who is getting all the conservative votes to pass horrible laws that takes away more of your votes. Obviously, this isn't going to take away our votes, but here's the difference. The Germany, before it became Nazi Germany, had a shitty democracy set up by the Allies in World War I. And that democracy, after economic damage, after the people in Germany were already at their shit's end. And now Hitler came in with this promise of new change, and they just gave him this power, and he just grabbed it, took over, and started mass murdering people. Trump is a bully. He came in a time where there was economic distress. People were upset. People feel like they were threatened. The only difference is Germany, they had the excuse of losing a war. People here were just butthurt that a black person became president. Either way, Trump came in, started bullying, started forcing the conservative parties to do whatever the fuck he wants, and he got so much power that they, no matter what, even if they have morals, they either play with him or become his next target. Now, I'm not trying to hyperbolize this. Trump isn't Hitler. I mean, truthfully, after this whole entire bullshit campaign, I would believe Trump will be 10 times worse, because he also have concentration camps at Alligator Auschwitz and all that shit. And he's a pedophile, which I don't know if Hitler was a pedophile, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. So they could be the same. They could be the same. Because this isn't hyperbole. In 2016, it will be hyperbole. Now, nah, there's evidence. We have literal evidence. Motherfucking his head of Border Patrol, Bovino, before he left, dresses up as a Gestapo officer. Stephen Miller over here is being portrayed as fucking not Mengele, the scientist. It was Goebbels. Fucking Goebbels. These people are horrible people. They're trying to take away our voting rights. And they're just saying it's for our protection and to protect our integrity of the elections, when they've been chipping at our integrity of our elections since 2020, just because that orange pedophile couldn't handle the fact that people were sick of his shit during COVID. So, to come up to our next break and just leave this on a note, keep an eye out on the legislation that's happening in our federal and state and local level. Keep an eye on that. Because trust me, after the Voting Rights Act in the 1960s, they are trying their best to silence anyone who isn't white, Christian, or male in the most pathetic and idiotic things. Like, literally, the SAVE Act will hurt a lot of women as well. Because women, when they get married in the United States culture, they take their husband's name. The birth certificate has to have the same matching name as their real document name for them to vote. A lot of women, a lot of people who marry change their names to their spouses. Are they going to do exceptions on this, or they're going to be sticklers? Because, I mean, they over here said that they were going to check ID when ICE is over here out in the streets just profiling anyone who has a certain skin color and throwing them back into the car and throwing them into jail, and won't even listen to the judges when they tell them to get out. Like, it's bad. How would you expect them to enforce the SAVE Act, especially if they're going to use this momentum to nationalize our elections to be under the purview of Trump? So, don't be naive. Sit down, look up Ballotpedia, and go through your ballot, learn about the people you're voting for, learn about the legislation you're voting for, and pay attention. Because trust me, this is how they did it in Germany. This is how they did it in Italy. This is how they did it in every single fascist state. When you give someone so much political power and don't pay attention to the people he put in power, the laws they pass, the things they do, and just be happy with the status quo, politics are going to come out of the woodworks and bite your ass. And it's going to be real quick, bloody, and painful, especially if you continue to be ignorant and blind. So, pay attention, look at the laws, look at what's being passed, go to events, and talk to your representatives. Because right now, sitting down and listening to me ranting ain't going to do shit. Go out there and do something. Be political. Go out there. because they're trying to take away a lot of people's voting rights. Like, I'm good. I have all the documents I need. I got my real ID since day one. I got my first ID after I turned 18. I got a real ID. I got that shit on lock. I have a passport. But not everybody has the money to buy a passport, which those are expensive. I remember when I was going to Spain, I had to go drive to Atlanta, which was like a 4 or 5 hour drive, go to this place, stay overnight, go over there, go to the office, get my passport ready, stay overnight for me to leave the same day with it, and then go back so I can go to my trip. Not everybody has that privilege like me. I'm privileged because I have great parents who gives me the life I have. Not everybody does that. Not everybody has a passport. Not everybody has the money for a passport. Not everybody has the time to get a passport. And also sometimes the time to get a passport through UPS, if you're even able to pay for it, will take between 3 weeks or 6 months to get to your house. So pay attention, understand what's going on, and be ready to speak out and vote against it. Because if you don't pay attention, they're going to pull the rug right under you, and it's going to hurt when you fall. Welcome to our break, and see you afterwards. But be political, please. I need you to.
Hey everyone, this is Christian and Jenny from the Coffee and Pandusi Show. We hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince. It's a great show. Also, I want to remind you to join our show as well, Coffee and Pandusi, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock on your favorite podcast platform, and Jenny's show, Two Queers in a Truck.
Absolutely.
Every Wednesday at 11:30.
2025 is our 2025. If I can get it out right without something like that. We've got 2 wonderful shows that have joined the family of shows that we've done for 6 to 8 seasons. Yeah. And Yarince is a wonderful host, who's a wonderful guest host with coffee, and a wonderful young man with a lot of great vision and insight. Looking forward to seeing his episodes flourish. And as always, thanks for listening. Otherwise, Christian and I would be just talking to ourselves.
That's right, and we do.
We do. Doesn't keep us from doing that now.
That's right. Enjoy the show, y'all. Bye.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to Espera Que. Thank you for being here for me. I'm your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo. I hope you are listening to us here in any of our major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and hey, let's survive this 2025.
Bye, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Christian County here at the terrific new theater in Birmingham, Alabama.
My name is Tamara DeBolt. I'm the executive director of Terrific New Theater, the theater in which this glorious world premiere is taking place.
So you're not a cast member?
I am not.
And I'm Del Shores, and I'm not a cast member. I wrote the recipe box, and I directed it. Yes, and...
I'm Emerson Collins, and I play Rick Sprague, the depressive math professor who gets left by his husband and stuck with his mother-in-law.
I am the mother-in-law he is stuck with. My name is Carrie Gisler Oliver, and I play Luwanda Bayless, and she's a fun little character. I enjoy her very much.
Well, wonderful. Thank you all for taking time to talk to us. What initially drew
And for me, I sort of love this idea of a man who wants to do okay in life, but has a significant childhood trauma that sort of overwhelms him into adulthood, and what that does to the relationships with the other characters and people in his life. And I find that really fascinating. It's we're all broken for various different reasons, and the particular things that he is stuck in that he can't get past, and how it impacts his relationships, and what it means to work through that and build a new relationship and sort of rediscover yourself was a really exciting sort of cliff to jump off of into this really great play.
Welcome back, everybody. After that depressing talk about how politics will fuck us over if we don't pay attention to the legislation that they're trying to pass to take away our voting rights. Back to the Epstein files, everybody. I don't want to show happiness because, again, this is a shit show. I'm going to repeat this over and over again. We should never forget about this. We should never forget about Epstein files. Like, we should never forget about this moment in time, because I would hope, as we move on in 5 or 6 years, I would hope the leaders in power in those years will bring down the hammer and make sure to punish every single piece of fucking shit who is on that list. Because this is corruption at its finest. So more files have been released, 3 million more files, and yada, yada, yada. But most of them are heavily redacted. They're showing victim names. It's a shit show. It is a very shit show. So to placate this, Pam Bondi and her DOJ with Kash Patel and the FBI set up 4 computers in a room in the DOJ with supposedly unredacted files from the Epstein files, which Congress members were able to go in. Congress members were telling their constituents, hey, what things you want us to check out? And they were going. They wanted to check out the emails that said, like, hey, talking about how they enjoyed the children that they had fun with at Epstein Island. They wanted to find out who are these men who are buying children from Epstein. Because, again, the man was running a giant child sex ring. It was so big, they had people from the fucking yearbook companies sending yearbooks to Epstein so he can find children to prey on. It is that bad. And yes, we're talking about yearbooks from high school. Like, the company who makes the yearbooks for your high school holds all your data, like where you live, your parents, your address, all your shit, and they sent it to Epstein. Which any companies that have knowingly sent information or worked with Epstein to capture kids should also get fucked too. But there should be a long list. Now, people are still mad because even in those files that they are giving it to our Congress people, there's still some redactions. They talk about whole pages hidden, and they're still hiding the names of the men who have been hurting these children. Like, these are children. They're adults now, but they were children who had suffered for decades with no justice and forced to keep their mouth shut and stay afraid because our government wouldn't do shit. Florida's government didn't do shit and just let the man stay during a weekend and hang out while he still was a fucking sexual predator. A bunch of political people in power who knew this bastard and knew his condition didn't do shit because they just enjoyed being near him and the money and the women. Our government right now ain't doing shit because right now Pam Bondi is in fucking Congress trying to act like a mean girl, like she's reliving high school, while people are telling her to her fucking face to apologize to the victims who she leaked their information in this last batch of fucking files. Which, mind you, if you don't understand why it's bad to leak the information of these people, because these bastards will gladly put a bullet in these people's heads to keep them shut And if they just see their name in the files, oh, who cares if they disappeared? No, there's no evidence of me doing it. That's how they think. That's how they act. And even then, there's legions of brain-dead, ignorant maggots online who are willing to throw away their humanity at this point. You're throwing away your own humanity by doing this. And just saying the most vile and disgusting things to these innocent women. Just because they had the audacity to stand up for the fact that they were assaulted or worse as children. So Pam Bonnie's being her own mean girl thing is just embarrassing and disgusting and horrible because you see her trying to act big and strong whenever people ask her hard questions about how she is failing at her fucking job and is protecting pedophiles. Well, on the other half, the Republicans are just telling her like, hey, thanks for saving us from these illegal immigrants. Which, I mean, illegal immigrants don't commit that many crimes. Trust me, when you're here without documentation, which that is what illegal means. It doesn't mean they did something criminal. It doesn't mean they hurt someone. All they did was just have the wrong documentation. That is it. And it has been proven that those people, immigrants, which that is what they are. They're just immigrants. They're just immigrants. Some with documents, others with not documents. They're all immigrants. Immigrants don't commit that many crimes. Want to know why? Because we just spent so much fucking money and so much time and have to deal with all these racist assholes. Committing a crime ain't gonna do shit to help us. It ain't even gonna help. Like, literally, put yourself in their shoes. You just moved to a completely different country. You're trying to learn the language. You're trying to learn the culture. You're trying to do good at your job. You're trying to make a living because it's either this or die in a hole because your old country just got demolished because of the whole regime or whatever economic collapse or whatever fucked up thing the United States did to their country that forced them to move here. You're not going to commit a crime because it's going to make things worse. Want to know who commits a lot of crimes? Natural-born citizens, especially ones who think they're entitled to other human beings just because they had the audacity to be born a certain skin color or believe in a certain god or anything like that. Like, seriously, they're over here trying to tell us to be scared of trans people because of shootings. Most of the shooters are white male. 90%, more than 90% are mostly white male. They're over here trying to blame gay people for being pedophiles.
Hi, everybody. This is Yarince from the Espera Que show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA. Go to your nearest homeless shelter. Go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people died to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who stormed Normandy, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yarince again from Espera Que, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody, for watching our show. Listening if you're on our major podcast platforms on Spotify and Apple. I'm your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo. Thank you so much for enjoying hearing my annoying voice, and hope you'll have a wonderful 2025. It's going to be a long one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
They try to blame trans people about school shootings when most of the school shootings are done by white males. They try to blame gay people for pedophilia when most of the pedophiles are white male. They try to blame black people for most violent crimes when most violent crimes are white people. But it isn't because they have white skin. It's because they live in a society that just says, hey, if you have a certain skin color, you seem to be entitled to do shit. And a lot of people go with it. They are taught with it. They have this culture with it. Now, again, this is not saying people with white skin are bad. This is saying when you incentivize this type of othering, this type of hatred, this type of disgust and violence and just evil, and try to make it your identity and have that identity for decades, you're going to have a lot of kids grow up, think they're entitled to everything, and commit a lot of horrible acts. Want to know how to fix that? Hold those horrible acts accountable and teach people to do better. That's what we do. We don't demonize people. We don't throw them away from our country. We don't destroy their lives. We don't we don't push racist lies. We don't blame them for all the ills. You go after the people who commit it, learn from it, throw the book and make sure they get the people who suffer get justice, while those who committed it burn in hell. And we change ourselves to be better people. We listen to women more. We teach kids how to protect themselves and to no stranger danger. We make sure to have systems that if someone is being sexually trafficked, it is easy for them to be believed and saved. We do things to protect them, not just say you have the certain skin color and don't have to write paperwork. You get to go to a fucking concentration camp because we assume you are a pedophile. Oh, that pedophile over there? Yeah. Just ignore him. He gives us a lot of money. Just ignore it. That is the Epstein files right now. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Donald Trump himself. They're just hiding that shit because everybody knows that piece of shit is in there. Like, seriously, his name shows up in the Epstein files more than Jesus in the Bible. His name shows up more in the Epstein files more than God in the Bible. His name shows up more in these fucking 6 million files than fucking Harry Potter in his own book series. Like, I know some people will turn that around and say Obama's in there. When you look at all the mentions of Obama, they're all mentions of him just being secondhand. Someone saying like, oh, I heard this about Obama. Okay, this. They just saw the word. Trump's in there because he is implicated in the shit. He is in there because he was partying with this piece of shit. He is in there because he hanged out with all these people. He is in there because he talked to these people. He's in there because all these people rely and talk to him to work with Epstein because of this shit. So as another day goes by, as the Epstein files continue to be hidden from our eyes just because a bunch of ignorant, bigoted people wants us to care about brown skin while the people in those files are doing everything in their power to hide it, I want my listeners to do one thing. Stand up. If someone around you is going through something disgusting and horrible as this, listen to them. Ask them what you can do to help them. Give them the resources they need. Because fuck this whole, the guy was, what if you ruined this innocent guy's life? Yeah, that happens. Yeah, some people get wrongly accused. Like, I don't know, what was the kid? Was it Emmett Till? Yeah, he was falsely lied and told that he sexually assaulted a woman and was fucking lynched. Yeah, that happened. But here's the thing. Most women don't lie about this shit. As someone who does his best to be a decent human being so I can be around as many people around, and women seems to understand that I'm not some fucking creep. When I hear from them, I hear that they just want to feel safe. They just want to be around someone who just sees them as a human fucking being. So treat them as a human being. Listen to them. And don't just even assume women. Men can be sexually assaulted. There are some male victims as well in this shit. Listen to them. Listen to their story. Listen to their plight. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, you're going to cringe. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's scary and bad, but we have to listen to this. We have to do that. Because here's the thing. For them to get justice, we need to listen and stand by them. We need to listen and gather the evidence and get the shit to help them get that fucking justice. That's the only way to go forward from this. Because if we don't do anything and we just let this die out, if we just let this go away, it just shows to all who has enough money that they can go around trafficking children as fucking flesh dolls. And the government ain't going to do shit because they're rich. We can't live like that. Nobody, I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, liberal, conservative, leftist or not neo-Nazi, black or white. I do not give a shit. If you put your hands on someone without their consent, if you destroy their innocence, if you hurt them as a child or whatever thing, you deserve to be under a fucking prison. Doesn't matter. And I don't care who it is. It is our duty as fellow humans to give them the justice they are owed. So to end this note about the Epstein files, keep moving. I would say just keep talking about it. Keep it in their minds. Keep reminding them that they are running away and acting like pathetic little cowards as they protect pedophiles. Keep on telling them that they will be remembered as the bad person here. Because they will. They will. They will. They will. Because I know humanity is acting like shit right now, especially my fellow Americans right now in this current time and age. But I have hope in the next generation. I have hope for the next couple of years. They're going to learn from this shit show, and they're going to remember the people who kept their mouths shut and the people who kept on talking. And I just want y'all to know that don't worry. They're going to threaten people. They're going to say things. They're going to do shit. Don't worry. Just make sure that if you hear or want to stand up for someone you love who've been hurt by these monsters, stand up, speak out, and be strong. Because as much money as they have, as much people they can threaten you with, as much as whatever the fuck they want to say just to protect their cowardly ass because they got caught doing the most evil shit you can do to another human being. At least you stood strong, had the integrity and courage to stand up against them, and is willing to fight back. Because trust me, this hammer is going to come down. This house of cards is toppling. Yes, they are pretending to be the mean kids at high school, but that's it. They peaked at high school. Yeah, they have their colleges and all that shit. But trust me, socially, as human beings, they peaked at high school little brats who had these ideas that everybody's going to like them, but was cruelly reminded that not everybody likes bigoted pieces of shit. And instead of learning to be better people, they decided to suck on the teeth of the most horrible and disgusting human beings who are, in these files, eating children, throwing dead bodies of children out of their boats, just doing the most disgusting and horrible things. They just latch onto that little teeth just to have that little power they think there is. Nah. At the end of this, they're going to suffer, and we're going to make sure they suffer. We're going to make sure them suffer. And the best way to make them suffer the most, getting those survivors the justice they need to get those files out, and every single name who is tied to any fucking crime to be detained, arrested, and just the book thrown at them. Because I would like to say way worse words for these horrible human beings. Truthfully, I would love to, but I don't want to be that cruel. I don't want to be cut off of air again. I mean, I might piss off another maggot idiot who's upset that I'm being mean to their other favorite pedophile. So, yeah, keep screaming, keep telling them, keep reminding them. See you after the break.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince, and I apologize for stumbling over the name. It's the first time that I've talked about the show, and I'm excited to talk about it as we are offering, and you will see on our media pages, we're adding a lot of new shows that have nothing to do with me, but I'm here to talk about it because I'm kind of the company's spokesperson, I guess, or mascot, depending on the day. But anyway, it's a new, exciting, hip new show. I don't know if the kids use the word hip, but I do because I'm old. And anyway, it's getting the the Latin Hispanic perspective, but from somebody much younger, from a Gen Z participant that is a young activist in our community. And Yarince's been on many of our shows in the Two Queers and Coffee family. And we look forward to hearing his opinions and thoughts. And I find this show probably one of the most interesting news shows. So check it out. It's available on our family of networks. And just like Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, as normal, all the same bat channels and all the same bat time. Come find us on Wednesday. There's something to watch every week. Anyway, thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you next week.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for being at our show today. I hope you had fun watching it on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify or in any major podcast platforms. Thank you for listening to our show. I am your host, Yarince Pascual, Mateo, and I hope you'll have a wonderful 2025 because it's going to be a long one.
So, welcome back everybody. Last story. This is pretty much a hate letter, I'm not going to lie. Because this story really boils my fucking blood. Like, this is a hate letter to all of MAGA. So, if you swing that flag of Make America Great Again, fuck you. Fuck everything you stand for. Fuck all your friends. Fuck everybody who agrees with you. Fuck you. Really, go fuck yourself. Why? Well, you're ignorant, bigoted pieces of shits who think that because of my complexion and I had the audacity to not follow your white supremacy, I deserve to either be deported, killed, or beaten because I have the audacity of a different opinion than you. But another reason is the pain and suffering a lot of other people who are way worse off than me. Like, I lost a job. This girl lost her life because she had the audacity to not side with a fucking sexual predator. So her name was Lucy Harrison, British citizen, innocent woman, murdered in January of 2025. I say murdered. This is a fucking murder. Like, this is a fucking murder. But she was murdered by her own father. Her own father. In January of 2025, which is wild to me that we did not hear about the story till February of 2026. We should have heard the story when she died. She should have had justice before, but today we just learned some other bullshit. So Lucy lives in the UK. Her dad divorced her mom, moved to the United States when she was a kid. She came in 2025 just to visit her dad. He is a huge Trump supporter, and they have been at it. Before the shooting, she asked him, are you just going to allow them to, like, sexually assault? Like, what if he sexually assaulted me? Talking about Trump. And he said, I have other daughters. I don't care if it's you. Which, mind you, if you're a father and tell your own daughter you do not care if someone sexually assaults them, especially the man you literally killed her for, to her face, just because you have other daughters, one, your hard drive should be checked. Because if you're that blatantly okay with this, your hard drive should be checked. And two, you're a disgusting, horrible father. Because all those other girls are also will be sexually assaulted if they have the audacity to go against. Well, that was their last argument. Before she was about to leave with her boyfriend and mom, telling the account, said that dad grabbed her arm, took her downstairs to the basement, and they hear a shot. Dad's account saying that he pulled out his gun to show his daughter, heard a bang, saw her fall down, and started freaking out. He also was a guy who was sober, but apparently was drunk during the time and broke his relapse. And also does not remember if he put his finger on the trigger. As someone who lives in the South and knows a lot about, who gets to learn a lot about guns and shit like that, you never put your fucking finger on the trigger unless you're willing to kill or destroy whatever is behind the barrel. You never touch that shit unless you know damn well you're going to press it and shoot. And this drunk dumbass grabs his daughter, drags her to the basement, and instantly shoots her. 1 year later, he is not indicted by a jury of his own peers for nothing. He is scot-free walking around for murdering his own daughter because of his love for Trump. Now, all you're going to believe the stupid drunken story of like, oh, I wanted to show my gun to my daughter and shot her. Which, if you believe that story, either you're gullible and I have some beachfront property in Arizona that I can sell to you, or you will kill someone else for Donald Trump and just don't want to admit that. A 23-year-old, she is 3 years younger than me, 23-year-old died 2025 in January because her MAGA dad, an immigrant, a British immigrant, shot her and killed her because she doesn't like a sexual predator. This boils my blood. There is no justice here. This man is getting away, murdering his own child for a fucking pedophile. He murdered his child for bigotry and racism. He murdered his child because he doesn't want to admit he supported a monster. A woman was murdered and killed. She is not with us today because her father was a violent drunk who cared more about upholding the image of Donald Trump than being a fucking sober father for his daughter. Rest in peace, Lucy Harrison. I hope that you're in a good place and that you will never have to live a life with family like that. But to all MAGA, which, again, as I said for the past shows, I know there's some of you bastards who listen throughout this whole show for whatever excuse you want. At this point, like, nobody wants to say they were a part of apartheid because they know they'll be stringed up for being part of that bullshit. No, you're going to be hiding in like fear after this presidency and when people finally wake up and bring justice against this racist administration. A woman is dead because her father drunkenly grabbed the gun, brought her down to a separate location away from other prying eyes, and shot her. And he shot her because he is blindly following a man who lies, who spreads hatred, who says racism, who is a pedophile, who sexually assaulted multiple people, who committed multiple crimes, who has known since his introduction to publicity that he is a racist, horrible, scam-arting piece of shit. And if you still defend President Trump, his regime, and everybody else, and hear this story and just gets triggered that I'm calling you a horrible human being and you deserve to be punished, then there's no hope for you. But if you are willing to admit you voted for a pedophile and racist, which that's what I need when all these MAGA people who are trying to renounce and change themselves, I need you to admit that you sided with a pedophile racist. You rather voted for a pedophile racist than a black one. I want you to admit that because that is what is happening here. Blind ignorance, blind hatred, blind allegiance to a horrible man that I don't know how, but people just view themselves with him because of his racism or ignorance or something like that, and are willing to hurt and maim and kill other people to defend that belief. You have to, at this point, if you want to renounce this, you have to admit you're a horrible human being. So, to end out today's shows on this sad and somber note, I just got to say is, yeah, life isn't black and white. There is some gray area. But we're at a point where even there is no being neutral on a moving train. Like the train has, our train, the United States, has jumped off the cliff and is falling into the chasm of fascism. 250 years of this country might end in fascism right now. We are in a shit log, and we have people, neighbors, people we think are friends and family, fathers, who are willing to kill other people just because they don't like a sexual predator. That is a very scary and sad thought. But as I said, we just need to keep on fighting back. We just need to keep on speaking up. We just need to keep on reminding them of their sins and make them understand nobody's going to lay down and let you keep on doing this. You will suffer for your evils. You must suffer for your evils for us to move on and grow and be better. This is Yarince, Pascual, Mateo. This is the end of Espera Que. Thank you for listening to our show. Please like and subscribe to whatever platform you are listening to this. I'm sorry about the sad ending of our show, and rest in peace, Lucy Harrison. I wish I knew earlier so I can bring this more into attention, because this story should have never been hidden. This should have been front page since day one. A father murdering his own child because of a fucking pedophile president he can't handle anyone's bringing slights to. So please be safe. If you have people who you think will get violent because of you having a different political idea of like, hey, let's give people free healthcare or shit like that. No, you should be following this pedophile. Yeah, if you have someone like that in your life, yeah, just no contact. Just not even worth it. I bet Lucy wanted to go see her father just to have a chance to just have a good person, a fatherly role, someone good. But that was destroyed by that man, that drunken bastard who just grabs his gun and shoots his own daughter. So to end our show, be safe, keep an eye out there, and keep screaming, keep yelling, keep telling them to go fuck themselves in their face, because we're not playing this game anymore. We are in a dangerous situation, and after the midterms, I hope things will get better. I hope we vote in, take away their power, and after Trump's name does turn, we pretty much reverse everything he's done and go into a better path. But just be safe, be woke, and fuck that. See ya.